Start line 3 tins with parchment paper. To do this, draw a circle around your cake tin with a pencil. Cut out your grease-proof circle. Add some bacon release spray to your tin. And stick in your grease-proof circle. Easy peasy. Then add your baking belt. Remember to thoroughly soak this in water before applying to your tin. And there we have it. For the second tin, measure your tin, leaving a little bit of overhang. Use this to measure how much tin foil you need. Cut dishcloths into strips about the same height as your baking tin. Thoroughly soak these in water and apply to the back of your tin foil. Then gently fold the tin foil over the wet cloths. Wrap the belt around your tin using the overhang to secure it in place. And there you have it, a homemade baking belt. Add 370 grams of mixture to each tin. Bake for 35 minutes at 140 degrees Fahrenheit.
Hi everyone, these were my 3 different cakes. Cake number 1 had the PME baking belt. Cake number 2 had the homemade baking belt. And cake number 3 had no baking belt. And I think you can see there's quite a difference between the 3 of them. So let's zoom in. So this one has got a nice light crust around the edge, which is slightly firm but still nice and soft. This one is a little bit darker in colour due to the caramelisation, but as you can see it's still quite nice and light. Looking at these 2 cakes, obviously this one has risen quite a bit more than this one as well, and that's due to the PME baking belt distributing the heat around the tin nice and evenly. So we come across to the poor little cake that's had no baking belt whatsoever, and as you can see it's got quite thick hard crust. It's also domed quite a bit and has also started to crack on the top. And if you compare it in height to the other 2 cakes, you can see there is quite a big difference there. So let's chop them open and see what they look like inside. So I've cut them open, and as you can see there's absolutely no caramelisation around the outside of this cake, so I would have to trim nothing off that cake. The homemade baking belt has a very, very slight line of caramelisation around that cake. And for me, I wouldn't bother cutting that down either. However, the cake with no baking belt has quite a big, thick crust all the way around it. And if you imagine, this is only a 6-inch Madeira cake. So if you were doing a cake which was much bigger, that had been in the oven much longer, these differences would be much more prominent. So, I hope you've liked this video. I hope I've shown you the difference between different types of baking belts. And for me, I know which one is definitely the winner in my book. Thanks for watching, and see you again soon.